Hello BookTube! My name is Elizabeth and welcome back to the Owlery. Today I'm going to be doing monthly recommendations. Monthly recommendations is a group over on Goodreads that was created by Trina at Between Chapters and Kayla at Kayla Rain, and basically they give you a topic every single month and you just recommend books based on that topic. And I really love monthly recommendations. It started back in August of 2015, so they've been doing it for a year now, and I did a couple of months, but then most of the time I would forget, and then the other half of the time I would just not think that I had enough books to recommend based on that topic. And when I saw that they had been doing monthly recommendations for a year now, it just blew my mind. Like, time flies so fast. It feels like just a couple of months ago I was doing the monthly recommendations for fantasy, which I believe was the first month. I have it here. Oh no, it was underrated. And then a couple months later it was fantasy. But either way, I did the first couple months, and then I'm pretty sure I did fantasy. But most of the months I just didn't do because of whatever reasons. But this month, the topic for monthly recommendations is recommend one book from every single month that they've done the past year from all of the topics. And I love that because you know, you only have to recommend one book, and it's really easy to think of one book that you can recommend for each topic, and it's like a way to catch up and get back on track. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to recommend you one book from all of the 12 categories that they had the last 12 months, and then hopefully I'll do every month from here on out and get back on track, and because I love monthly recommendations, it's a great idea. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. So the first month that they did was underrated reads, and for my recommendation I'm going to go with Alive by Scott Siegler. This is a science fiction dystopian, and basically this girl wakes up in a room full of coffins, and she is in her own coffin, and she realizes soon that some of the people in the coffins are alive and some of them are dead. And so it's basically just the story of the group of teenagers who end up alive, escaping and figuring out why the heck they're in coffins and why they don't have any memories of who they are. I'm pretty sure they remember their names, but that's about it. Any fans of The Maze Runner would really enjoy this, and really any fan of dystopian and science fiction, this was an amazing underrated read. The next month we needed to recommend books set in a school, so I went with The Novice by Tara Matharu, and our main character Fletcher in this book finds out that he is a demon summoner, and so he goes to school to learn magic and how to summon his demon and use his demon to fight battles and to heal and all these different things. And the school is just really, really cool, interesting. I love this magic system. It's very unique and like nothing I had ever read before. And Tara Matharu is an amazing writer. This book and the second book, which I can't remember the name of at the moment, is just really, really good. I gave them both 4.5 out of 5 stars. They do have their flaws, of course, every book does, but they were really, really good. And if you enjoy books set in a school, highly recommend this one. The next topic was to recommend creepy books, and so I'm going to go with Beware the Wild by Natalie C. Parker. This is set in a small town in Louisiana or Mississippi, I don't remember, that is right on the edge of a swamp, and the swamp has always had like this really bad vibe to it. No one goes in the swamp, and there's rumors that people go in and never come out, or they do come out, they're changed drastically. And our main character, her older brother, goes into the swamp, and a girl comes out, and everybody in the town has this memory of this girl being her sister, and she's the only one that has the memory of her brother. And this book messes with your mind. Like, let me tell you what. There's just like this twist in the middle of the story that I swear no one will ever guess. And the swamp, also known as the book, messed with my mind so much that this twist, like, I didn't even catch it. It's just like, oh my god, you guys, it's so good. If you are waiting for October to read all of your scary creepy books, put this one on your list because it is really, really good. And then the sequel to Beware the Wild, which is called, I have it right here, Behold the Bones, is already out. And I haven't read this yet. It's on my TBR for this month, but I'm really hoping I get to this and it's just as good as the first one. But the first one is top-notch creepy book, guys. Read it. The next task is to recommend a trilogy, and so I decided to go with the Remnant Chronicles series by Mary E. Pearson. These books are really heavy and hard to hold all together, but the first one is The Kiss of Deception, The Heart of Betrayal, and The Beauty of Darkness just came out a couple of days ago, and I got it in the mail, you guys. I was going to do an unboxing, but I just looked like crap, and it was like really late at night because I was home from work and I just didn't want to wait. So yeah, sorry. But this trilogy is so good. I mean, is it cheating because I haven't even read the third one? But the first two are solid 5-star fantasy reads. It's just so good, and I want everyone on BookTube to read it, and I'm just so excited to read the third one and find out what happens with all the characters. And this is like the most gigantic book ever, but this is an amazing series, you guys, and I just want all of you to read it. Really Quick Kiss of Deception is about a girl named Leah who's betrothed to marry the prince of a neighboring kingdom, and then she runs away because she doesn't want to marry him, she's never met him, and she doesn't love him, and an assassin and the prince that she was supposed to marry come after her because they're both like PO'd, and she falls in love with one of them, but the reader and Leah both do not know that one of them is the assassin and one of them is the prince. So it's like a guessing game. It's really good. This next topic, I believe last year was like a book that you wanted to read before the end of 2015, because I think this was like the November-December topic, but they've tweaked it a little bit to be a book that you want to read as soon as possible. And I decided to go with An Ember in the Ashes by Sabat Tahir, and I really want to read this again before the year is out because the sequel is coming out, and I don't remember the name of it right here, but I'll put it right here. But this is a really, really good fantasy, you guys. It's about a girl whose brother is kidnapped, and in order to get her brother back, she bands up with these rebels who are trying to go against the government and to be a spy for them, to try to like infiltrate the government and the military, and it's just really good. And I'm probably going to reread this because when I was reading it, I was in the process of moving, and I just couldn't focus 100% on it, and so I've forgotten a lot of the details, and so I really want to reread this before the end of the year, and I think all of you guys should too, because this is a great book from what I remember, and I'm really excited for the sequel. The next topic was to recommend a fantasy, and so I decided to go with Passenger by Alexander Bracken. Passenger is about a girl who finds out that she's from a family of time travelers. Her mother has been kind of trying to protect her from this life for her entire life, and I really love, there's a small bit of like music that is brought into this story in the plot, which I thought was a really cool like way to incorporate music into time travel. It's just really interesting. It's hard to explain, so you really have to read the book to understand, but time traveling to all these different places and times was just so interesting, and I enjoyed this book so much, and I just think the cover is beautiful, and the sequel Wayfarer is gorgeous, and it's coming out soon, and if you are a fan of ships and time traveling and Outlander or anything like that, you will love this book. It is absolutely freaking fantastic. The next topic was to recommend a book with absolutely no romance or very little romance, and so I went with The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. Our main character, Blue, has been told her entire life that if she kisses her true love or her first boyfriend or something like that, he will die. So from what I remember, there is very, very little and or no romance in this book, because Blue is so afraid to kiss somebody because she's afraid they're going to die. So I feel like there's feelings, but she's like, boyfriends, nope. Love, nope, because if I do, I'm gonna kill him, and that would be horrible. And this is a pretty good book. Next is recommend a standalone, so I went with This Is Where It Ends by I really wish I knew how to pronounce her name. I feel so bad because she's an amazing author. This book takes place over the course of like 54 minutes, a little under an hour, and it is it's during a school shooting, and it's from like 4 different people's perspectives who are involved with the shooter in some way, and I just felt like this is a very short book. I think it's like a little under 300 pages, and it's told from 4 different people's perspectives about a school shooting, but I was worried because I didn't think that I would be connected to the characters in such a short book that only takes place within an hour, but you do. You are immediately attached to these characters. I cried at least 3 times reading this book. I mean, it's about a school shooting, so people die. I mean, it's just what happens, but learning about the shooter's backstory and how our main characters are involved with him and his reasons behind what he's doing, it was so good, and I really, really think everyone should read this book. Next, recommend a survival story. I went with H2O by Virginia Bergen, and this was fantastic. This is about a girl, and basically one day the world realizes that the rain is poison. Literally 1 drop will kill you. And at first thought you think, okay, well I just can't go outside, but you have to think that this rainwater goes off into the ocean and into your lakes and ponds and estuaries and wells, and it makes practically every bit of drinking water unsafe. And then also anything that like any type of food that is outside is fed by this rainwater, and so it is potentially unsafe. And it's just her story and her family's story trying to survive this world where literally any drop of water could mean your immediate death, and not a good death at that. Is a very gross, painful death. But I mean, I loved the main character, Ruby. She was funny and sarcastic, but smart and resourceful, and this was an amazing survival story that I just ate up. And there's a sequel too called The Rain, or it's H2O and then The Storm, and it's just really, really good, you guys. I recommend the US cover because the British cover is like hideous. Get the US cover, it's beautiful, because you can see it looks like these little holes, and that's because like on the front it's got I think this is the first page. Yeah, my book got a little dirty, but I love that the holes kind of like, it's just, this book is gorgeous, and the story inside is amazing as well. Next was to recommend a book with a great friendship, so I went with Truth Witch by Susan Dennard, and this follows two female characters who are best friends, and they call themselves Thread Sisters, which means that like, in this story, there are these things called thread witches, I believe, and they see the threads that combine people. So they'll see a thread that combines someone with their true love, or someone with their best friend, or someone with a family member, and I just thought that was a really interesting concept. And so these two girls have a thread connecting their hearts, meaning that they are thread sisters, they are best friends, and I just loved their relationship, and their friendship was just epic, and having friends like this is complete and total goals, you guys, because I love them, and I haven't read this book in so long, so I wish that I could tell you more about what it's about, but I actually remember not 100% liking the plot. I liked the concept of the magic and a thread witch and a truth witch and things like this, but I really wasn't sold on the problem that they were having and like the overall story arc, so I just don't remember a lot about what was going on, but I remember loving their friendship, and it was really, really cool. And I honestly feel like I was slumping at the time, so I think I'm gonna reread this before the second book of Wind Witch comes out, because I think I'll enjoy it a lot more over a second reread. Next is to recommend a book that is set outside of the USA, so I went with The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is about a circus that travels at night, and they don't really like have a schedule, they just pop up somewhere, and I think they travel all around Europe, if I'm not mistaken. If it's not Europe, I will be really embarrassed, because I could not think of a book set outside of the US, and then I saw this and I was like, yes, because I'm pretty sure they travel around Europe, and they just the circus itself is beautiful, and this is written just so amazing. And the main plot is about these two magicians, and they do real magic, and they have like a competition against one another about who can create the best magic and the best show and the best tent at this circus, and it's just so good. It's so good. I think I want to reread this. Like, it's very rare that I want to reread my favorite books, but this is definitely in the top 10 of my favorite books of my whole life, because it is that gorgeous and beautifully written, and the plot is amazing, and the characters are awesome, and it's just so good, you guys. I love this book. And the last topic was to recommend a book with your favorite empowering female. So I went with Selena in the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. Something I was recently rewatching my review of this book, and because I want to start reading the series again. I've only read Throne of Glass, and I want to read the rest of them. So I was kind of like trying to remember everything that I read about it, and I remembered that Selena was chosen to compete in this trial to become the king's assassin, and she was like rescued from like slavery basically. And so when she's at the castle, she's able to wear like nice clothing, and she's well fed, and she appreciates that. I feel like a lot of young adult heroines who have this type of personality, who are like badass assassin attacker people, they're like, oh, I don't want to wear a dress, I want to wear pants, and you know, that's more comfortable, and you know, and that's fine. Like, I like that too, but it was really refreshing to see a badass assassin chick want to wear a dress as well, and appreciate nice clothes, and being well fed, and sleeping in a nice comfortable bed. Like, she was just okay with being a girly girl when she didn't have her assassin face on, and I really, really enjoyed that about her. And so I really like that she is empowering and badass, but still a girly girl. and it was a really good book to boot, so. Alright guys, I am finally caught up on all of the topics for monthly recommendations for the last year. That feels really good because I was feeling super bad that I wasn't doing the majority of these topics, and I'm hoping that I can stay regular with this and do every single month. Next month is science fiction, and I am so excited because science fiction is where it's at for me. I'm loving science fiction right now, so get ready for some great recommendations next year. Thank you so much to Trina and Kayla for doing this. It's awesome. I love this group. Like, great idea, you guys. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye! And I decided to go with An Ember the Ashes by Sahaba Tabaz.